Hey everyone, this is Ian with AlphaCars and Ural of New England. Today we're taking a look at a very special Ural. This is a 2023 Gear Up Polar Dawn Expedition. Very unique and distinct bike with this orange and blue color scheme, and especially these color matched accessories. It really makes it pop more than it already does. So in this video, we're going to learn about the Ural, some of its standout features and specifications. This has lots of very nice accessories installed on it, so we'll be going over those as well. And we'll also talk about the improvements and design changes for 2023, as Ural made some great improvements on the Gear Up for this model year. If you're new to the channel, welcome to AlphaCars. We share daily motoring content, so definitely hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. But now, let's take a closer look at this Gear Up. Let's start by going over just what a Ural is. This is a sidecar motorcycle. It is designed from the factory to have a sidecar as it comes with one, and it's actually unsafe to remove the sidecar and try to ride it as just a normal motorcycle because of the frame geometry and the front suspension design. But very cool bikes. They are a 4-speed with a mechanical reverse and on-demand two-wheel drive. So very unique setup, awesome to ride. As I said, engineered to have a sidecar. The frame is very rigid, and the bike tracks beautifully down the road and steers easily. It has a 750cc horizontally opposed twin with a modern fuel injection system. So you can see those throttle bodies there. And we will hear it run later, and I will show you the controls on how all those exciting things are operated later in this video as well. But now let's touch on this color and go over some of the other features and accessories on this Ural. I mean, look at these clean lines with this paint scheme. I love these accessories that are powder coated to match to kind of offset the bike. Very cool. So first, let's focus on the sidecar. So we've got LED driving lights mounted on the sidecar front bumper. And something we do here at AlphaCars is we drill the back of the bumper and run the harness through the bumper so it comes out right here for the lights. So very clean installation. These come shipped from Ural with that harness just kind of zip tied or fastened to the outside of the bumper. So we at AlphaCars just like to go a step further and just properly drill the bumper, touch a paint, rubber grommet, run it through the bumper, and then very clean look, keeps that harness protected. So I really like that we do that on all these bikes. We have got a flat nose rack, very sturdy. You can shake, you can see the whole bike shaking. You can shake the whole bike with it. You can see how thick, I mean, the tubing is that's made up of. And we can see it's mounted properly as well. Stainless steel hardware and rubber isolators, so it's not gonna damage the paint or the sidecar body that it's mounted to. Another accessory on our e-store, the short sidecar windscreen. Got this little handle to hold on to here. This is the tinted one to match the tinted windscreen on the Ural. And the apron, these are available in different colors as well. This one is just in this black to match the factory tonneau cover, which is in the trunk of the sidecar. Yes, it does have a trunk, which we'll take a look in there in just a second. Very spacious. I'm 6 feet or just about there, and I have plenty of room in the sidecar, and we even have videos of people being like 6'3", 6'4", and hopping right in these, and they're like, wow, I'm surprised. There's plenty of room and it's comfortable, but super comfortable seat. It's contoured, you know, kind of like any modern, comfortable automobile seat. And in here we do have a fuse panel with an additional circuit, that switch there that's ready to be wired to really anything you'd like. And there's a European style plug right there. So we have adapters on our e-store as well to adapt that to the American plug for your accessories, here. Nice rubber mat, it says Ural on it. I think that's a nice touch. There's a rubber mat in the trunk as well. Just makes it feel just kind of more comfortable, and it protects the floor of the sidecar as well. And speaking of protecting the sidecar, you can see this textured finish on the bottom of it. So this bike has factory chip guard, factory undercoating. In common terms, you could think of it as like a bed liner. This is applied from the factory underneath the paint. What it does is allows the paint to have some flex to it, because what happens, how your paint chips on even the hood of your car is, a rock flies up or something hits it and the metal doesn't flex. So what happens is the paint chips off. So with this chip guard, it's meant to have a little give to it, so the paint flexes and moves and it doesn't chip and fall off the surface. So that is applied to the whole underside of the sidecar, and we can see up the edges as well. It's applied in all the fenders. You can see that textured finish. All three fenders, so sidecar fender and both fenders on the Ural. And we can see even on the back, you can see that textured finish there. It's applied there and inside the sidecar. So as I just showed you, we can see that textured finish. And now I'll get into the trunk, which is lockable as well. So I'll open this up, and this is our tonneau cover that protects the sidecar. I'll link a video, it'll pop up right now on the top right of your screen to click on. If you want to learn about the tonneau covers and just how to use them, some tips and tricks, we have a video all about those. But now back to the trunk here, we can see it has that textured finish to protect in here as well. It has the rubber mat, and we've got touch-up paint for all the colors of the bike. Factory toolkit, which is also like a service kit. You can really do kind of any maintenance and servicing with that kit. It's a very comprehensive kit. Got the owner's manual, which once again, this has like exploded parts views, wiring diagrams. It's really a service manual in addition. And this bike, one of the awesome accessories it has are the Nitron shocks. So that other piece of paper booklet here, that's just some documentation about those and some of the adjustment tools, as these shocks have various adjustments available to dial them into your liking. I mean, we can see even just how thick these latches are, all stainless steel, which is all super impressive. Of course, we have the expandable shovel. We've got this heavy duty flat rack on our spare tire. The spare tire on these do fit all three locations of the Ural. They designed the hub to be that way, so whether it's on the drive wheel or the sidecar wheel or the front wheel, doesn't matter, it fits all three. So no matter where you are, if you had a situation where you needed to use it, you're not stranded. So that's very cool and practical engineering there. We see the nice black accents. I love the kind of matte black two-wheel drive badge there. And we'll see the Ural badge. I'll show you that quick on the tank. I love the contrast to that. Looks really nice, the rest of the bike. But back here we have sidecar rear bumper, another great accessory. We can have shipped to your door if you're check that out on our e-store. We have the, of course, classic jerry can that the Urals come with, and I like the sticker on here. It says, you've probably seen us talk about this before, but not for gasoline and drinking water. So obviously use common sense there. Don't fill it up with gas one week and fill up the bike and then fill it up with drinking water the next week. I would say just use it for gas, but you obviously use common sense there. Taking a look at the muffler here, true 2-in-1 system, and just check out the welds. The welds are really a work of art, and even the bracket that holds this on, super thick aluminum with those rubber isolators, really like the rest of the bike, kind of over-engineered in a good way, of course. Of course, there's over-engineering things in a bad way, but over-engineered really in a good way with the quality of that. And this bike also has the light protection kit on it. So there's this nice protection on the rear light and the sidecar marker lights. and the sidecar fender rack. Really awesome accessory. I mean, all the accessories are awesome, but I really like this one because you don't, like maybe some of the older racks, you don't have to drill your fender. It uses all standard mounting locations, and it's super sturdy. Like, once again, you can move the whole bike with it. I wouldn't be worried about really, tying anything down to there of what size allows, because obviously you're limited to this kind of area. But I think I've covered the sidecar pretty well. Let me move on to underneath quick. We can see it has a CV shaft, so now we're on to the 2023 improvements. So just like my Volkswagen, or pretty much all modern cars now, they have CV shafts, constant velocity shafts. So it has a certain kind of joint in there with this rubber boot to protect it, keep the grease in there. And the benefits of these over U-joints, smoother rotation at all angles, and really increased reliability and service intervals. I mean, really for the life of it, you just have to monitor the boot condition. And other than that, there's not really anything to do. You just want to make sure this boot stays intact and doesn't leak grease out, just like in your car. And that will really almost be service or maintenance free during its lifespan. So taking a look at the bottom of the sidecar, it has its own shock. It is sprung, has its own shock, and then the sidecar body also has these two dampeners. So if we see, I can move the sidecar up and down independently of the base frame, which also has its own shock. So ultra comfortable ride on these Urals. It'll really surprise you how comfortable they are to ride in, and how well they handle adverse terrain, as they're kind of designed to do. This is our final drive unit at the back, and this is where the magic happens, a two-wheel drive. When this lever's actuated, it drops into two-wheel drive, and we will take a look in a minute here at how you actuate that. We can see the rod going to the front of the bike. But quickly, let me just cover the accessories on the Ural, and then I'll talk about the controls. So we've got handguards here. I love handguards on all motorcycles. It keeps kind of the wind and bugs off your hands, especially when it gets cold out. It keeps the cold air off your hands as well. Makes riding, you can kind of extend your riding season and just makes it safer to ride because your hands don't get cold as fast. And especially, these are factory grips, but especially if you have a bike with heated grips, which we offer as well, you could really ride this in the middle of winter. We have people that do, and they're perfectly warm. We've got the Ural adjustable touring windshield. So we have these adjusters here that you would just loosen, and you have a lot of adjustability with sliding this upper portion up or down. Very cool there. Look at it from the front. I like the design. Matches the sidecar windscreen. We've got the rock guard, the headlight guard, and if you can see in there, there is an LED bulb in the factory housing, so that's cool as well. And of course, these Nitron shocks, really a work of art on this machine. And now we have shin guards on the left and right. So once again, keeps the cool air off your legs, or even maybe the bugs and stuff in the summer months. Just another nice accessory, especially with the protection of the hand guards. If you are off-road and you're going through some terrain that maybe isn't ridden too often, that'll keep you from getting kind of whipped by branches and stuff as well. And we have an upgraded USB charger on here, fast charge capability. It's actually, I don't know if you can hear that, it's actually all metal aluminum housing, so very high quality, and it has its own switch as well. So you can charge things when the bike is off if you need to. And we have the ball mount for like the RAM mount systems to mount a phone or GPS. This is one machined piece. It replaces the whole handlebar clamp. Very, very high quality and sturdy piece. I really like that because it's like a factory kind of integrated item. I love things that, I like modifying things, but I like things that look like it would come that way from the factory as a manufacturer would do it, and this bike is really built that way. I'll touch on the brakes briefly. Big Brembo brakes on this Ural, on all the new gear ups. Big 4-piston caliper in the front with that drilled rotor, and it is a floating design. And same thing, single piston on the back with that same drilled and floating design rotor. And even the sidecar has its own brake. You can see there, Brembo caliper, floating design. So they're going to dissipate heat as much as possible and be as smooth as possible when braking. These things really, you know, I guess want to use the term stop on a dime, but it's almost what it feels like. The brakes are very, very impressive on this machine. And the Expedition bikes have a skid plate as well, so we can see the nice kind of drilled plate there to kind of save on a little bit of weight and for the design, but that'll protect the oil pan on the bike if things, you know, do get kind of rowdy. And even checking out that 2-to-1 exhaust, we can see what we can see at this angle. Once again, just very high quality. The bends are really nice, the welds are really nice. Just very impressive there. And I will note these grab handles being, you know, powder coated orange as well with the valve covers. Just a very, you know, distinct and sharp looking color contrast there. So now let me get on the Ural, and before I start it up, let me just show you some of the controls. So of course on our clutch side we have our clutch, which these, I don't think I mentioned, these are a dry clutch, dual plate dry clutch, just like a high performance vehicle application. So that's how this clutch pull can be so light, but it has a ton of clamping force, it being a dual plate or a twin disc, you know, dry clutch. So that's very cool engineering, as well as, you know, like I mentioned, you usually see those in like a high performance vehicle application to hold a bunch of torque but still have a light clutch pedal. Back to the controls, we've got our blinkers, not self-canceling, so make sure to cancel those. Our lights, so it's always on low beam, that's flash to pass, and that's high beam. We have our horn, very high quality parking brake that locks the rear caliper. You can see thick cable there. It's all aluminum housing, so it's just very stiff and satisfying to use. You can see like there's no play in this arm or anything. Very, very high quality and really engineered so well as the rest of the Ural. We have the switcher. These are for the driving lights in the sidecar. So I'll leave those on so we can see those when I start up the bike. And of course, front brake and kill run switch, starter, throttle. And I will note with the factory grips, they are very comfortable. You can see it's kind of like a soft touch rubber. The only reason I'd change these personally is just to put heated grips on the bike. They're very comfortable factory grips. And now the controls for your feet. So we have the foot pedal for the rear brake right here. This is actually linked, if we see right here, it's linked with a cool linkage to the sidecar. So the sidecar has its own master cylinder and fluid reservoir. So it brakes both rear wheels evenly. It's going to give you, you know, the best stopping power and also still track straight if you got to stand on those brakes. This pedal here is for reverse. So you kick down on the rear portion with your heel when you're in first gear or in neutral with the clutch pulled in. And then, as I said, it's a mechanical reverse gear, so you can really drive as long as you want in reverse. It's not like an electric motor or something that, you know, pushes the bike or drives the bike back very slowly. Very, very cool system in this Ural with that mechanical gear, just like your car. But anyways, when you pop back out of it, it always locates you back in neutral, ready to click into first and be on the road. And if I can get a good angle here, we can see this lever right here. This is for two-wheel drive. So I'm sorry about the angle here because I'm sitting on the bike, but right here, that's our two-wheel drive. So when you actuate that, you know, at a standstill, sometimes you might have to roll the bike forward or back a little bit for it to drop in. But once that engages, that's when you're in two-wheel drive. And then I will note our left side for our shifting, it is a heel-toe setup, so very convenient and easy to use. And there is a Kickstarter as a backup as well. So now let me turn the key on for you. You can see it does its self-check there. The bike is new, it only has 11 miles as it just was road tested after it was assembled, but we're in neutral. All we have to do is hit the starter. It is ice cold. If you look down, like I can just have my hand on the cylinder head and even touch the header for you. I have my finger right on the header pipe. And all we have to do is hit the starter and watch how easy it starts. So with that fuel injection system, really, no matter what fuel quality, elevation, temperature, it's just gonna start up, you know, and run sweet every time. So compared to when they were carbureted, obviously the carbureted bikes run awesome, but you know, you have to sometimes use the choke at first, and there's 2 carburetors. So it's just another starting procedure to go through with, to have to worry about. So modern fuel injection, it's always going to be optimized and give you, yield the best fuel economy. It's a really nice system to have. And we can see it even has kind of a high idle at first as well to warm up faster. So then it'll be ready to ride quicker once it gets that oil circulating and up to temp. So we can see the driving lights, nice crisp LED lights on it. And even we can see we have a steering dampener. I believe those have 20 points of adjustment. So that makes a huge difference with if you want maybe the steering kind of light for the road, or if you want to stiffen it up so you don't get the kind of kickback off-road if you're going over obstacles. So very high quality part there that is included as standard. So we can see they're just running quite happily and quite smoothly. We turn off these driving lights with that nice waterproof switch. So if I may have missed anything on this Ural, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer it, or give us a call at 978-263-9000. Come on down, check one of these out in person. I'm sure you'll be impressed with the build quality, the paint finish. Just how cool these bikes are. They're head turners, even parked here at the dealer. Everyone's turning their heads driving down the road. Of course, I'm sure in a safe way. But this has been Ian reporting from our Boxborough showroom. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned something new about this Ural. And leave a like and subscribe so then you don't miss the latest motoring content like this exciting Ural.